Are you a South African musician trying to figure out how to go about starting a YouTube channel? Welcome to this episode where I plan on sharing 4 tips on just that. So I started my YouTube channel about 3 years ago and I've been able to grow the YouTube channel to somewhat a sizable size. I recently got 10,000 subscribers, so I thought I would share some insight on how I went about growing my YouTube channel. So I'm going to focus this one particularly for independent musicians that want to start making a YouTube video. So there will be 4 tips on just that. The very first one, and probably the most critical one, is who is this channel for? Now, when you make content, ideally you want to have someone who wants that content. Content creation is more about who will be consuming, not who is making that content. With that said, I'm going to give you an example with mine. I am a musician, I'm a producer, I'm also now a music educator, so I had to decide who I want to make this content for. So for my channel, I decided to say I'm making it for independent South African musicians. With that said, I knew exactly what kind of person I am going after, where they stay, more or less how old they are, and particularly what kind of genres they make. Once I decided on who I'm making my content for, I had to decide what content am I making for my specific person. There's several ways of going about finding different type of content for who you're making your content for, but typically you want to either motivate those people, you want to inspire those people, you either want to educate those people, or you want to get them engaged with your content. So for my channel, I decided, okay, since my independent musicians, I was once and am still an independent musician, I decided to go for the let me educate, because I do have some knowledge in music business and the publishing side of music. So I decided to make this channel that you're currently watching, passing on educational information for my audience. It's also critical to know what kind of content they want and basically get inferences from them to know what they really want. So you actually have to spend quite a bit of time with the audience that you want to make content for. And ideally, you also want to be somewhat knowledgeable. But if you're not very knowledgeable, you want to kind of document the progress of you becoming knowledgeable and sharing your educational path. That way you are learning and you're also teaching at the same time. I definitely know a lot more about music publishing now than I did when I started off my channel, simply because I was also learning at the same time and getting engagement with my audience to know what they're struggling with. If I could not answer it, I would do the research, educate myself, and pass it on to my audience. Probably someone exactly like you. So the third tip that I suggest is you want to know how often and when you will be releasing the content to your subscribers. Now, ideally, in an ideal world, you want your channel to be like SABC1, where every day there's some form of content being published to your audience. Realistically though, if you're an independent musician, you most likely have other obligations and other tasks that you have to do. So your time is split up between your YouTube channel and your day-to-day life and your music. So ideally, you want to have at least once a week. For my channel, I literally post once a week, typically on the Sunday at about 6 p.m., 5 to 6 p.m. South African time. That's when my audience is most susceptible to my information. But it may be different with you might find that the best day to be posting your kind of content would be on a Wednesday or Tuesday. So you just need to figure out how often and when you want to release the content. You want to be releasing typically at the same time, roughly every week, and you want people to know exactly when that content is coming out and what to expect. Tip number 4 that I learned from my homie Silas Beats: you want to be able to notify the people that are interested in your content when that content is out and available. Shout out to my homie Silas Beats. And the way I do this is I've got a WhatsApp group that is literally one way where I tell the people in the group when I am publishing. I use it somewhat as a newsletter. The link in that is in the description below. And I also have an email list where I constantly send my information to the people in my mailing list to let them know that this is the video. It's also a very good way of kind of cataloging the content that you make, but you also want to be cataloging properly on your YouTube channel where you got mini playlists. So on my channel, I got a SAMRO playlist, I've got a SAMPRA playlist, I've got a Capasso, and I've got a RISA playlist, and then I've also got one where I give general information or broader sense information like this one, which is on music marketing more or less. But you want to make it simpler for your audience to get the information they want, and you want to be able to notify them as soon as that content is out. Those 4 tips will help you kind of get on the pathway to getting your YouTube channel up and running. If you want to know how many streams you need to make 1,000 Rand, watch this video.